How do you approach what you eat as a family? It can be completely different in every household, and not only in every household, but sometimes between every single family member. As a mum, you often feel responsible for ensuring healthy eating is happening in the house, but sometimes it isn't that easy. There is a lot of information about what is and what isn't healthy, and this can be so confusing. So today I am going to debunk some common myths about what is and what isn't so good to eat. Welcome to the Happy Thriving Mums podcast, the show that talks about the simple actions busy mums like you can take to prioritise your own health, happiness and fitness. And it doesn't stop there. This show also includes amazing stories from remarkable women who help others to be the best version of themselves. Because if you feel great, you thrive, and so does your family. So, if you're ready to overcome mum guilt, manage overwhelm, feel and look your best, and create a happier, more balanced life for yourself and your family, this podcast is for you. Hello, welcome to this week's episode of the Happy Thriving Mums podcast. Today I am talking about food and healthy eating. Do you talk about healthy food with your kids? I really try to. I know they've been doing it in school quite recently, and so when I ask them about what is healthy and what is not so healthy, they are aware of which foods are better choices and which foods should be eaten less frequently as treats. So that's a really good start. But when I do talk to my kids about food choices, I try to be really careful with the wording that I use and the language that I say. I am a real great believer that no food is good or bad, but it's all about how much of that food that you have. I remember when I was a kid, I had friends who weren't allowed things like ketchup or crisps or sweets. So when they went to friends' houses on play dates or they went to parties and those foods were offered, they went nuts. They ate loads of them, whereas those that had them occasionally or at home were much more reserved in how they approached these treats. I also remember a friend who wasn't allowed squash at home because apparently it sent her crazy. So when she ever came to play or when someone else was out, she had squash and it would just be like a wild adventure. I mean, I think food growing up was quite different compared to what it is now. I'm fairly sure that in the 80s and 90s, I grew up in the 80s, I'm an 80s baby, the addition of additives, preservatives and colourings was much more prevalent and not so monitored as it is now. Whereas now there are much tighter regulations, and some of the things which were put in foods back in the 80s and 90s I'm pretty sure are banned now due to health concerns. Like I remember there was some kind of rumour about what made Smarties red, which I'm fairly sure they're not allowed to use anymore. But that's just rumour. Can't confirm or deny, don't know. But this is just the rumours that we heard. But if you think back to when you were a child and what childhood meals looked like, in the 1980s, I think it wasn't uncommon that a bowl of Frosties and full-fat milk was considered quite normal. We used to have everything on white bread. There was butter, lashings of it, ham sandwiches, or do you remember that meat that looked like a bear's face? I'm fairly sure that was quite prevalent. And then dinners were very often beige food. Turkey dinosaurs, alpha bites, chips, chicken goujons, fish fingers, you name it. That was kind of like your go-to 1980s dinner. And whilst you probably look back on that and think, we were fine, look at us now, I think now we know more, don't we? Now we know more about what is actually good for us and is going to nourish us compared to what might be a quick and easy fix. And I mean, I am not here to throw shade on anybody because my children do have chicken nuggets, chicken goujons and chips for dinner, maybe once a week or so, because I think it's all about educating them about what food choices are good and what food choices are less good, and actually giving them the opportunity to eat different things. So whilst we might do that once a week, we also have salads and we have vegetables and we have kind of more whole meals such as spaghetti bolognese and different pasta dishes, roasts, stuff like that. So we talk about what is healthy, what is not healthy, and we try and accommodate all tastes. I know in my house some days we have better luck than others with meals. Some of the meals they really like, some of them they don't. Sometimes they won't eat it and so they end up having some toast as an additional extra later on. But I think, and my view is that education and information is key. Talking to them about healthy choices, they'll eat them, they won't eat them. It's like as an adult, there's some things you like, there's some things you don't like. Don't dwell on it. Provide the information, give them the opportunity, see where it takes you. So I think it is really key to remember that just doing your best, especially when you're feeding your kids, is really important. We don't get it right all the time, and as an adult, what you eat and what I eat, I know I don't get it right all the time, but I really try to have the majority of things that I eat in my meals, in my snacks, are healthier options. And I think if you can go with the healthier more often than not kind of mentality, then you are much more likely to be nourishing your body, giving it what it needs, and allowing you to thrive. So that's just a first kind of point there. So today, what I am talking about is the idea that some things may seem or sound healthy, but might not be as healthy as you think. So today I'm going to debunk some common beliefs that we can hold about what we eat, how we eat it, and what these things contained. So I'm going to start off with an idea of the fact that foods which have the word natural linked to them means that they are healthy. Okay, so this idea that natural foods mean healthy. So if you look on food packaging, sometimes you see this word natural. And I'm sorry, but natural doesn't necessarily mean healthy. Let me explain why. Quite often we see the word natural written on products, and in our minds we think that natural must mean not man-made. Therefore, it is better for you. And to a degree, it can be better for you, and there are lots of things about it which are better for you. And whilst it means that there are no artificial additions to the food, there can be extra things added in the ways of sugar or salt added for additional flavour. So when you see this word natural, it's actually really important to look at the food packaging, especially just as a starting point, to look at the traffic lighting system on the front of food packets. That breaks down how much fat is in the food, the sugars, the salt content, how much of your daily calorie intake it is approximately. And when you look at these things, it can help you make better choices. So hopefully you know that the food packaging, they sometimes have it as a traffic light system with a green, amber and a red. Green means there is a good amount of whatever it is within that food. Amber means there is a slightly elevated version or amount over what the daily recommendations are. And red means that there is a much more of whatever it is, say salt, for example, in that product than is recommended by government guidelines. So the traffic light systems are really useful to have a quick look at what the food contains and whether it is in line with recommendations as to what are healthy eating guidelines. So my first one was this idea: natural means healthy. Not always. I would check how much salt or sugar is in this natural product, because sometimes they are added in as extras for flavour. Right, number 2, carbs are bad. So myth number 2, carbs are bad. Let's delve into this further. I vividly remember in the 2000s hearing on the news about this Atkins diet. Do you remember this? The likes of many celebrities were on this Atkins diet, and they used it to maintain their celebrity bodies. So if you remember, the Atkins diet is one where you cut out carbohydrates. And I don't think this is a good idea, okay? And I will explain why. Maybe this is just me, but this whole idea about the Atkins diet gave this impression that carbs are bad. It was a speaker for this idea: carbs are bad and we should avoid them. For some people, low carbohydrate diets may be necessary, and this would be needed for them for certain reasons, but this would need to be advised for you to follow a low carbohydrate diet by a qualified healthcare professional. So a registered dietitian or a doctor may say that some people need to be on this kind of diet. However, for the majority of the population, to maintain good health, carbohydrates are very much an important nutrient, if not a vital nutrient, to have in your diet. According to the Eat Well Guide, and the Eat Well Guide is a kind of recommendation of what you should be eating on a daily basis within your diet. So remember, diet isn't about going on a diet. Your diet is what you eat. It's what you eat on a regular basis. It's not about going on a diet. It's everything that you consume in a day. That is considered your diet. So within your diet, according to the Eat Well Guide, carbohydrates should make up about 1/3 of your daily calorific intake. And remember, your calorific intake is the amount of energy that you get from food. Carbohydrates are important because they are the main nutrient that you eat, which is responsible for supplying a steady source of energy to your brain and your body so that you can complete all of the tasks that you need to do. They are really important. So remember that carbohydrates are not bad. That idea is a complete myth. Carbohydrates, in most cases, for the general population, are really important in providing a slow release of energy throughout the day for you to do all the activities you need. The best ones that you need to eat are starchy carbohydrates, such as whole grain bread, pasta, and cereals, because they are the ones that provide this slow release of energy and can prevent sugar spikes, which you can get from more what we call sugary carbohydrates. And these sugary carbohydrates are the ones that you find in more processed foods like cakes, sweets, biscuits. These can give you these spikes in sugar, insulin levels, which are not so good, okay? So, myth number 2 was carbs are bad. Carbs are not bad for you. They are really important for giving you energy that you need throughout the day. Moving on now to number 3. So, this myth is a good one. So, the myth number 3 is, I ate like this in my 20s, so I should be able to eat exactly the same now. I say this with love, but I'm really sorry, but you've changed. Okay, you've changed. I am now 42, so I am 22 years away from when I was 20. Okay, so it was a long time ago. As you age, your nutritional requirements change too. So what you ate in your 20s and what you eat now should also change. Calories are units of energy found in food that we eat. As you age, you need different amounts of calories to fulfill the requirements of activities that you do in your day. These are known as your energy requirements. Energy requirements can range from a whole host of things, including breathing, so you need energy to breathe. Yeah, I know, crazy. Sleeping, you need energy to sleep. Bodily functions, movement, thinking, exercising, concentrating. Literally every single thing that you do within your day requires energy. If you consume the same amount of energy that you use, your weight will stay the same. You will maintain your weight. If you eat more calories than you use in a typical day, your weight will increase. And therefore, if you eat less, your weight will decrease. And by no means I'm saying this happens overnight. These are things which happen over time, and you need to do it. If you are losing weight and you're using this method or you're using this thinking, you need to do it carefully, you need to do it responsibly, and you need to do it sustainably. And I can help you with that. So if you want more help with that, please reach out. What I want you to consider though is as you age, the amount of energy that you need decreases. So what you ate in your 20s is likely to be more than what you require, what you need in your 40s. If you think about children need more energy when they are younger and growing due to developmental changes. So their minds are growing, their brains are growing, their bodies are changing. Also, because of the amount of physical activity that they do, young children play a lot. They run around a lot. They do a lot within their day. I remember listening to somebody talk about how they tried to mimic what a toddler did in the day, like all the crawling or the pulling up, all of those things. And they found that the energy that they needed to replicate a toddler was massive. Okay, I can't remember the study or where it was, but it's a great story. And actually, you can well imagine it. Can you imagine as a toddler trying to pull yourself up and then you fall down, trying to pull yourself up, then you fall down, try to pull yourself up, you fall down? I kind of liken that in my head to trying to get yourself out of a swimming pool that many times in a day. It can be quite tiring, it can be quite tough, right? You know, when you pull yourself out in the deep end, something like that. So that is something to take into account. Your energy needs change as you age. Other things to take into account is your lifestyle. Do you walk? Do you exercise every day? Is your job more or less sedentary? Have these things changed over time? So did you have quite an active job in your 20s and now in your 40s you have a more office-based job and you're sitting down a lot more? What has changed over time? All of these things contribute to your energy requirements. And if you don't change your eating patterns in regards to the changes that are occurring, and don't get me started on hormones, that's a whole nother thing, a whole podcast episode there. If you don't change what you eat in regards to what you need, you may see a change in your weight, and change in your feeling, a change in how you can show up on a daily basis. So, as I said, the myth of what you ate in your 20s should be able to be the same as what you're eating now is a myth, okay? You need to change your needs, your nutritional intake in alignment with what you need now. Number 4, this is another myth. Fats are bad. Fats are bad. Lots of people say that. However, there is a kind of precursor to this. We need to talk about this. Fats are actually an essential part of your diet. Okay? Fats are an essential part of the diet. They are really important. Without fats, and let me tell you, it has to be the right fats, because fats are not all equal, your body wouldn't function properly. So fats are really important for insulation, to keep you warm. There's a layer of fat under your skin that in cold weather it keeps you warm. You can also use fat for energy production. So this is really good for energy needed over a long period of time because it's a real slow burn release of energy. They are also essential in transporting some vitamins around the body, and they can also help the body to work properly because they are needed as a major part of cell walls and membranes within the body. So fats are actually really, really important. But as I just mentioned, with many foods, and fats in particular, not all fats are equal. And if you eat too much fat, particularly the wrong fats, they can be stored and they can lead to weight gain. And this weight gain can make you unhealthy, can make you more prone to disease, and can actually make just regular activities a lot more challenging. So you need to be able to distinguish between saturated fats and unsaturated fats. Saturated fats are found mainly in products from animal fats. And if we eat too many saturated fats, they can lead to things like heart disease and ill health. This is the fat you find in things like chocolates, cakes, crisps, chips, fried foods, that kind of thing. So limiting the amount of saturated fats in your diet is actually quite a beneficial thing. However, we also need unsaturated fats, and these are a much better choice to have within your diet. And you actually need to include some in the diet because the body cannot produce all of them, especially the ones that the body needs. So these are known as the essential fatty acids and are only found in things like oily fish such as salmon, but also found in nuts, seeds, and things like avocado. We tend to have too many saturated fats in our diet and not enough of the unsaturated fats. So it's good to try and cut down on the things like the crisps and the chips and the chocolate, but to increase some of the healthier fats for better nutrition because they really actually help your body work better. So that was number 4, that fats are bad. Some fats are better for you than others, and trying to eat the right amount of fat in your diet is where the truth lies. Okay, so that's really important to consider. My final myth that I want to debunk for you today is about having a good day and a bad day. Okay, so some people think if you have a bad day and you eat all of the things, have a big blowout, you might go out for breakfast or lunch or have a takeaway or something. And if you have this bad day, all the good work that you have done for the rest of the week or the month or however long you've been really trying to eat that little bit more healthily is undone. Okay, this is a myth, I'm pleased to tell you. So Let's picture it. You've been eating healthily. You've cut out tempting snacks. You've replaced biscuits with fruit. You're feeling more energized. You're feeling really good. You've got a glow about you. You've got more energy. But then you have a day where you've had a really tough time at work. The kids are playing up. You're very tired from getting up early to go to a meeting. You have a day of eating chocolate. You had a takeaway for tea. You had a few glasses of wine. It wasn't a great day. Or maybe it's a friend's birthday celebration and you go out for dinner. You have a 3-course meal at a beautiful Italian restaurant with cheese at every course. Again, a bit of wine. You've had a lovely time, but you feel a bit guilty. That's it, right? All the healthy choices and decisions and hard work you've done fly out the window and you wonder why you bothered in the first place, and you think, actually, this healthy eating, I might as well give up. I've ruined it all. Let me tell you, no, not at all. You have not ruined anything. You are living your life, and that is so important. It is important to allow yourself to have fun. It is important to allow yourself to have a little bit of what you like and to actually really, really enjoy it. Sometimes you need to think about healthy choices and living your life and come to some kind of agreement between them. There are so many things you can do to live a healthy life. Eat healthily, exercise, get plenty of sleep, get some rest, don't smoke, don't drink alcohol, minimize your stress, go outside, avoid the sun at the hottest times of the day. I could go on and on and on and on and on. There are so many things you can do to live a really healthy life. But sometimes the most important thing in my eyes is for you to realize that you are doing the best that you can. Okay? It's not completely closing the doors to things which bring you joy. It's about making healthy choices more often than not and having those healthy choices as the norm in your daily lives. You are then looking after yourself. You are then looking after yourself really well, and you are nourishing your body and you are keeping yourself healthy. Having a blowout, having a treat, having a few days here and there which allow you to enjoy your life, I really believe it's actually really good for you. It's good for your morale. It's good for how you feel. It can bring you happiness and joy and a real sense of occasion. It is a celebration. It's a celebration of living life, celebrating yourself, celebrating others, making the most of these wonderful things which are actually available to us. These kind of events are actually few and far between, and when they happen, we should be enjoying them. We should be living them. You may not feel great for it the next day or two, but having these things happen, by having something or a day or a meal which is not as healthy as maybe you would like, or you feel bad for it, doesn't mean you should give up trying to embark on this healthy journey, okay? They are called lifestyle choices for a reason. A lifestyle is one you pick and you follow over a period of time, and consistency is key. Consistency is key. Tripping up, for want of a better term, or having an odd day off here and there is fine. It will probably actually do you the world of good in other ways, because we don't live in isolation, do we? We don't just have, this is eating, this is exercising, this is working. Quite often, and especially as a parent, things all meld together in a big melt, don't they? So we have to try and do our best. And that's that. If you have these trip ups, that's fine. If you want to go out and have a big blowout, a big meal, or eat something unhealthy, do it. But just try not to do it every day or every week. Do it as a treat because you totally deserve it. And don't worry about it. It's fine. So, there you go. There are my 5 nutrition myths debunked for you. Remember, number 1, natural means healthy. Not always. Number 2, carbs are bad for you? Nope. They are really important to maintain your energy levels. Number 3, I ate like this in my 20s, so I should be able to do the same now. Sorry, things do change and you do need to make some modifications. Number 4, fats are bad for you. Some fats are not so good for you, but fats are essential in the diet for the body to work at its best, and you just need to make sure that you are eating the ones that you need. Finally, if you have a bad day, any good work is undone. Absolutely not. Treat yourself, live your life, and enjoy yourself. If you've enjoyed this episode, let me know in the comments and share with a friend you think would enjoy it too. What myth surprised you the most? I'd love you to let me know, so please let me know in the comments. I'd also love you to click subscribe and join up for my newsletter to get loads of help and info straight to your inbox to help you to continue to be a happy, thriving mum. I hope you have a brilliant week.